Hey sailors, welcome to the crew. I'm Sea Lord Janda, and this is my Let's Play of Rule the Waves 3 as the United States. It's February 1942. We're at war with the United Kingdom. And for the most part, it's going well, but as our VP counts suggest, it's still pretty in the balance. We've taken Nova Scotia, we're trying to take Newfoundland. Currently, we have a solid advantage in capital ships, solid disadvantage in cruisers, and say it's about even in carriers, but apparently they don't have any fleet carriers here right now, so it's all very much uncertain. We are just about finishing our first wave of Charlotte class heavy cruisers. Our Ticonderoga class carriers are a long way away yet, so hopefully they shouldn't be able to challenge our surface battle line anymore. With any luck, if we can beat them if we can take out just a couple of their carriers, we should have total superiority more or less. Now, we do have six battleships in dry dock right now, but we've still got six available, so that should be enough to handle pretty much anything they've got available. Ish. Convoy attack. Medium. Alright. Let's see what they give us. We're very far out from our land-based air, so hopefully we can just keep theirs limited. Okay, it's not a huge battle. It's mostly a cruiser force we have here. The heavy cruisers Huntington and Huron, both Brooklyn class, which are a little bit dated, but should still be alright. And looks like 4 light cruisers and a gaggle of destroyers. And it is nighttime, but we have radar. And we've just made contact with something up north. We've got to be very careful with this, because frankly, they have more and better heavy cruisers than we do. With the speed that formation's moving, I suspect that's a few destroyers or something. I'm going to do a little bit of maneuvering, just in an effort to not get torpedoed. Okay, that's definitely a destroyer, and we probably just sank it, because it's not going to like that kind of gunfire. It did loose torpedoes at Amsterdam. Okay. Over here? No, alright, that's going to be very bad for the destroyer Hauptmann, but I'm pretty sure we sank this destroyer, so it's about even in that regard. I mean, this is only a 1,500 tonner, so not ideal. However, we've sunk one, chased the others off. I'm going to get our light cruisers together into a proper line ahead, because they're a lot of our heavy firepower right now, really. The British definitely have radar also, so we might have slightly better radar, but it's unlikely that we have a massive advantage over them here. Ah, right. Nighttime. How long till daylight? What is it, March? Could be a while yet. Yeah. We're pretty far north. Almost just to... I think that probably wasn't our torpedo, but it's possible it was, to be honest. Alright, there's the convoy, though. That's not a CV, it's definitely a destroyer. But, we're gonna sink it either way, probably. Now, the real trick is... Are we shooting at our own... Ooh. Maybe it's a cruiser. Those look like pretty big shell splashes. Or at least bigger than destroyer caliber. We don't want to be lured too far away from the convoy either. In fact, if we could turn and put ourselves between them and the convoy, that would be splendid. Aylwin, why would you do that? Oof. Okay, Galveston just got plastered by that unidentified. That must be a light cruiser right there. A big one. Because Galveston just lost her bridge and a turret and 4 other hits in one salvo. But we've got 5 9-inch shells have hit this thing already, so... Oh, God. Oh, my God. Huntington. 4 torpedoes. Radar on the blink. That's great. Oh, well, we hit them with 1 torpedo. Man, nighttime combat is just kind of a mess. I think we're probably losing, to be honest, but Huron is pretty much about to ram something. Wasn't Patterson already sinking? Fairly sure she was. Is Galveston okay? Yes, other than the loss of her bridge, she's fine. It's possible that we've sunk at least 1 British light cruiser. I wouldn't guarantee we've sunk anything other than a destroyer, to be honest. And we've lost a lot of ships. So I'm going to go and sink the convoy. Because that would at least redeem this from a victory point perspective. You know what, that probably is heavy cruisers over there. If we could go sink them, that would be even better. Also, I don't know what this wallowing thing behind us is, but I'd like to finish that off, maybe. It might actually just be a destroyer, but if it is a light cruiser, that would be great. Oh, and you know, it looks big enough that it might be a light cruiser. We've got to be careful not to be torpedoed, though. Okay, I still don't know for sure whether it's a light cruiser or a destroyer, but I am fairly certain that we've sunk it. Oh, and it's a Conquest-class light cruiser. Well, this is quite a large and expensive light cruiser, so that makes up for a lot of our losses. Yeah, that thing's dead. Okay. Now, we chase the convoy. Ah, daylight. That is very welcome. Yeah, I think it's dead, guys. Okay, we've sunk at least 3 British, maybe even 4 British ships in the night. I think it's 3, but... including a light cruiser. But I think we lost obviously a heavy cruiser, probably 2 or 3 destroyers. So we're not in great shape. Now, whether one of these old Brooklyns is actually that much better as a combat unit than one of those Conquest-class light cruisers in the modern era is an open question, but, well, Brooklyn is still better in head-to-head combat. Okay, guys, you can stop. Come on. Those are not cruisers. Those are definitely transports. We're going to just sink them all. I've detached way too many ships to pick up survivors, but that's acceptable. These are not... I don't know how we're only 5,000 yards away and we're still claiming that these are all cruisers. They're very clearly merchant transports. Okay, full daylight. There we go. Merchants, yes. Great job, guys. The fact that they were going 10 knots and weren't shooting back in any way wasn't any kind of hint earlier. So we're tearing the convoy apart now. That makes up for some of our previous losses. I see one Amphion-class light cruiser to the south. We should finish that off. Or kill it. I don't know if it's really damaged, but we should kill it. It does have 2 above water torpedo tubes we gotta be careful of, but... we heavily outgun her, so... should be alright. Alright, I don't even know if that's really an armed merchant cruiser. Maybe. Apparently it has 2 5-inch guns, but, we should have pretty much sunk enough of the convoy. I'm going to focus on these escorts. Amphion is not a big cruiser. She's not going to take too many 9-inch shells before she's in some serious trouble. Yeah. There we go. Yep. Sank enough of the convoy. Definitely sank that heavy or light cruiser. 2 light cruisers at this point. I think that's just a... I'm going to turn in hopes that we avoid any follow-up torpedoes. 1 we can handle. More than that becomes a real problem. Bearing in mind that this entire class of heavy cruiser is pretty much due to be replaced imminently, but... I think this destroyer's the only escort left. I think she might be, which would... means it would be nice if we could just take her out. That might be an escort. Or just a very confused transport. No, I think it might be another destroyer. It's acting weird. A little bit of maneuvering to avoid potential torpedoes. We're still pretty insistent that this is a transport, but I really am not sure. Maybe it is an armed merchant cruiser. That would kind of explain it. Because otherwise all this looping around makes no sense if she's just a transport. Okay, well, disabled. There's the last destroyer dead ahead. Could we maybe just finish her off? see a few hits, 6-inch guns. She's not exactly going to survive a lot, considering she's a destroyer. Of what? 2,300 tons. Big destroyer, but still. Okay, seems like some of my destroyers have taken it upon themselves to chase her down, which is probably for the best, really. And I think they've accomplished it too, so that's good. Pretty sure the convoy's out of escorts, so we're just going to run down and sink the last 3 or 4 merchants over here. And at that point, I think we can probably call it a win. Although it's terribly annoying to have lost a heavy cruiser, but we've sunk at least 2 light cruisers, a decent number of destroyers, and wiped out this whole convoy. And it's worth the loss of ships if it helps us take Newfoundland. We do have to keep the broader strategic objective in mind there. Okay. I think that's... Yep, Britain has no ships left at sea. I'd call it a win. Unfortunately, we did lose the destroyers USS Patterson and Nicholson, which... Patterson was hit by several 2 torpedoes at night, both from the destroyer Lasso. Nicholson was hit by 1 torpedo at night, which... from the destroyer Lawford. And we also lost the heavy cruiser Huntington, which managed to take 4 torpedoes from the destroyer HMS Lawford. Dang, Lawford really did a bit of a number on us. But in return, we sank 17 transports from this convoy, aka the whole convoy. And the destroyers, HMS Foyle, Itchin, Lasso, Lawford, and Laverack. And the light cruisers HMS Amphion and Conquest, which pretty much all by gunfire. We haven't fared too well today in terms of torpedoes. But definitely made up for it for the most part in terms of gunfire, except for what happened to Huntington, but... Conquest did take 1 torpedo early on from Galveston, funnily enough. None of our destroyers got any torpedo hits. One Prestige, Battle of Cape Spear. Nice name. Yes. Yes. All right. Louisville is commissioned. Charlotte and Salt Lake City. Absolutely not. Rear Admiral Taylor is performing a vital duty in the Coal Lighter and Laundry Barge Administration. Diving shells. Teardrop hole for submarines. Cavity magnetron, better radar range. Ley light, better aircraft ASW effectiveness. The Brewster Bearcat is entering service. Still fighting in Newfoundland. We've lost the destroyer McKee to a mine. And apparently we're under blockade now. Come on. How even? We have hugely more capital ships than them in the region. I mean, yes, they have more light cruisers, but even by their own tally, 342 to 208, we have a big advantage. I wonder if we're under blockade in the Caribbean or something stupid like that. Probably. The U.S. is weird that way. But if that's the case, I could resolve it quite easily by detaching, like, a battle cruiser and a couple of light ships down there, which I think I will do just to be on the safe side. I'll send USS Constitution and a few of the Winslows that aren't on patrol duty, and I'll send them to the Caribbean just to make sure that we're not technically blockaded because there's one British heavy cruiser down there. Or it could be because they have 3 submarines on the west coast, I don't know. We definitely have superiority on the east coast still, and we're pushing for Newfoundland. I think we'll take it unless they can get their fleet together very quickly. We have 3 of the new Charlotte-class heavy cruisers in service now, so those are a big upgrade on the Brooklyns. Also very necessary because we're down to only 3 Brooklyns left. And it looks like we have enough funding that we can resume construction of our other 2 Ticonderoga-class 100 aircraft carriers. And those will pretty much definitely end the war as far as carriers go. Although Britain is building, well, Britain has 200 aircraft carriers in service, but they're not building any others. So if the war drags on that long, the Ticonderogas will be the last word in that. Did I just send the first, like... Alright, take these, put them on trade protection. A little bit of overkill doesn't hurt. Coastal raid. I kind of hate coastal raids, but okay. I'll accept. Hopefully they just have a fleet that will come out and fight us. Again, we're much closer to their land-based airfields than ours, but kind of just inevitable when we're the ones attacking. I mean, our nearest is at Halifax, but I don't believe the airfield at St. John's is huge or anything. Allegedly, it has 0 aircraft. I don't know if that's true, but it only has a capacity of 20, so it's not a huge worry. They've given us pretty much everything for this, it looks like. The entire Illinois class of battleships and 3 Pennsylvania class battleships, so that's 7 battleships, plus the battlecruisers Independence, Constitution, Essex, and United States, plus the aircraft carriers Yorktown, Wasp, Hancock, Bunker Hill, and it looks like we're getting this thing where they're underneath each other again, but I think I see Enterprise and Langley under there as well. So this is pretty much the whole fleet as is that's available right now. Sure, catapult-launched search float planes, why not? That's actually the first time we've had that available. Might as well do it, though, yeah. I mean, it's kind of irrelevant, because we do happen to have a a very substantial carrier force to carry out our recon, but that's alright. Might as well use it. Everything we've got. So I guess I turn generally north from where we started. And head for that point on the coast where allegedly we'll find some ships. Now, with the force that I have here, there really shouldn't be anything superior to us that we could possibly find. Kind of annoyed by these carriers being just exactly underneath each other. But that's fine. Okay, we've been spotted by enemy aircraft, is what that said, I believe. I have not spotted that. Wait. Never mind, I've spotted them. Battle cruisers. And possibly destroyers straight over the horizon. Okay. Then everybody up to maximum speed. Why are you even an independent formation? Highly confident that we can fight anything they have in the area, so... I mean, we have 7 battleships, 4 battlecruisers here. They only have 9 battleships, 4 battlecruisers in their entire fleet. I'm fairly confident they're not all actually here. And some of them are horrible designs like this, or this, so... Even if their whole fleet does chance to be here, we should be alright. I should, however, get the carriers to ready up a mission. Get the Brewsters ready. Bunker Hill. And Franklin. All of you get fighters ready, or get bombers ready. Yorktown and Wasp, get your bombers ready. Strike exceeds deck load. Alright, limit the number of... I don't think it exceeds the deck load by a lot. But I don't know actually how to see what the deck load is, so it's just kind of guesswork. Okay, this is Enterprise and Langley. And then Division 10 doesn't exist. Alright. Oh, this is the cruiser division, I see. It has 2 float planes. Sort of doesn't really count. Okay, yeah. Oh, interesting. Hold on. That's a conflicting report for sure. There's something off to the west as well as what we've seen to our northwest. Okay. I'm going to keep heading northwest. Because there's clearly something up there. And we'll follow up those reports to the west after we've crushed whatever we encounter up here. Okay, that's a lone ship there, but it could just be recon. It's not a lone ship, and it's maybe a battlecruiser. Alright, well. If it is, it's gonna very quickly and severely regret its choices, because... And it is an Invincible class battlecruiser. This would be one of the ones with only 6.5 inches of belt armor and cross-deck fire 16-inch guns. Yeah. Great job there, Britain. We're going to go ahead and engage that. Just Independence and Constitution could crush that pretty easily, but we do happen to have another 9 capital ships following on. So if I were them, I'd be running right about now, which they do seem to be, but it's probably already too late. My Essex, what does this make? 28 knots when it was new. Essex and United States make 32, so we should be able to run them down, even if they do just run. I guess I could launch aircraft at them, but it seems like a little bit of a waste. Maybe I could aim one strike westwards towards whatever is over here. Might not be the worst idea. What's the time? Okay, it's pretty early in the day. That's good. Huh. The time zone changes right here in the middle of the map, apparently. Because the local time changes depending where I put my mouse. Okay, she's sort of crossing the T of those two, but it doesn't really matter. Do we reckon this is everything that was to our northwest? Probably not, but I'm going to just have the battleships follow along. The Invincible is a little alarmingly close to our carriers, but there's no chance she gets to them without going through Essex and the United States, so it's not a huge deal. And she's very much... Where have we spotted an unknown ship? Oh, heck, to our south. Now that could be a big problem. Hold on. We have a lot of carriers there that are pretty vulnerable. Alright, I'm going to need all the battleships to come due south right away. Just in case that's not like a destroyer or something. Doesn't really look like a destroyer to me, though. Well, we blew up a destroyer, so that's a success. What do we reckon? Maybe those are destroyers. They don't look like capital ships, but there's a lot of them. How's that airstrike coming? Oh, it's coming together. Why don't you launch to, 12 miles off your bow and, yeah, see what you can sink. Who says carriers are defenseless? Yeah. Poor Invincible here is very thoroughly losing this engagement with our battlecruiser force. To the point that we could probably break off and go make sure of covering our carriers, but... Okay, that's a British heavy cruiser. And it's directly firing on Enterprise, which is a problem. Okay, I need you to go to... away from there. Do we think Invincible is slowed enough for Independence and Constitution to finish her off? I think probably yes. So I'm going to have Essex and the United States come to, what is it for them, their port, and get between our carriers and those heavy cruisers. Ah, great. Okay, there's a lot more ships down here. They have pulled one over on us a little bit here, although at the cost of they've lost an Invincible class battlecruiser acting as bait. And I don't think they're going to actually get to our carriers before my capital ships get in between them, but they got pretty close to pulling one over on us anyway. That looks like maybe battleships. All right. How are the rest of you doing? Yeah, the target is like right there. Launch. And launch. Fantastic. Definitely, whatever this is, it's worth targeting. I think that is a couple of battleships. Really kind of need these battlecruisers to come about now. No. Just... We're definitely engaging battleships, which is really not what battlecruisers are for. And I see 3 or 4 of them, so that's not good. But our battleships are coming along. They're just getting a little distracted by sailing through the middle of our carrier formations. No, you'll have a chance to turn into the wind in a minute. Calm down. We are getting attacked by a lot of stuff. Wasp just got hit by a bomb, which means there's enemy carriers somewhere back behind these ships, but okay, confirmed that's at least 3 battleships, including one of these rather nasty Albion class ones. 5.5 inches of deck armor. Yeah. However, Barfleur is kind of worthless, so call it 2.5 good battleships. Essex has taken a little bit of a beating, but nothing too severe. The United States is still unhurt, so there's nothing too wrong with our battle cruisers. And finally, here come the battleships, all 7 of them, which is quite enough to chase off this British force. Oof. Bunker Hill just took a bomb. Essex took, I think, a bridge. Really? From one of those? Well, she's a bit of an older ship. She doesn't have the very latest in torpedo protection, to be honest, but she should be alright. In any case, I suspect that that Invincible is sunk, although it would be nice to put a torpedo or 2 into her, just to be on the safe side. No. Okay. Fire some torpedoes, yeah. Are we in range? We are. Alright. Come about enough to fire, then. We need to get some guns onto this mess. Okay, some people have managed to launch some aircraft, at least. Shouldn't be too hard to find the enemy, seeing as they're in visual range. Okay, that will finish the Invincible off for sure. Guys, did I not say to turn? Because this suicide charge is not the move. Okay. But it's a touch messy right now. The amount of things occurring every single minute is absurd. Allegedly, we hit a carrier with 2 bombs. That's nice. I don't see any carriers to hit with bombs, but that's what the pilots are claiming. We'll let them have it. If the 1st Battle Division would, turn... Okay. They're turning into our own torpedoes, but... Okay, one of those torpedoes we fired did land. I say 4 British battleships in here. But we definitely outgunned them. It's just a matter of actually bringing it all to bear properly. Constitution, how are you doing? Really not that badly. We should be alright. Yeah, look at all this. Our carriers have finally gotten far enough away that they're actually launching all their aircraft, and that should pretty much... Well, that should be pretty effective. Constitution. Really? Alright, slow down and just stay with the carriers, yeah? A lot of these blue dots, I think, are aircraft, but it's a little hard to tell. I also feel like some of our torpedo bombers are going out against these random destroyers. It would be preferable if most of them all came down here, but... Why does Wyoming refuse to turn? She might have taken rudder damage or something, possibly. Ooh, what happened to her? Yeah, detach her. That's too slow. Okay, the Invincible officially sank. What happened to the United States? Bad luck. 16-inch hit entered her fuel feed tanks and disabled her machinery. Okay. Nothing critical, at least. It's a lot of aircraft coming in on the Brits as they try to retreat here. Their AA is not going to be very effective under those circumstances. You guys... I think, honestly, 2nd Battle Division has probably done a lot of the heavy lifting here, while 1st Battle Division was trying to get their sorry asses sorted out into a line. But that's alright, as long as it got done. No. Why can you still not turn into the wind? Because you're going this way for some reason. Oh, 2 hits on the Albion class battleship. I assume aerial torpedoes. That might do her in. Allegedly, the other 3 are all damaged to some degree or another. If we can follow up effectively, this whole surface force is probably in big, big trouble at this point. Obviously, our air attack is... Wait, was that... Magazine hit, ship blows up. I don't know what ship that was. It wasn't Salt Lake City, right? Oh, it might have been. Whoops. Bye, Salt Lake City. I didn't really get a proper notification of that, but oh well. Damn, she was a brand new cruiser, though, if that is what just blew up. Well, this Albion class battleship is one of their very nicest, and that looks like it's sunk, so we're still getting the better of this exchange by far. And there's a nice, very expensive 10-inch heavy cruiser sinking in there, too, among other things. Ohio? All the way over here? I guess it must have been from this destroyer, but it's insane that it hit Ohio and not anything in between. Yes, detach Wyoming. Like, really? Maybe it's just that the AI always puts torpedo training on or something, but the average degree of accuracy that they have on their destroyer-launched torpedoes is just absolutely astounding. It must be double or triple what our destroyers usually do. I don't know. Maybe I just don't micro the destroyers enough, but... I mean, I feel like my destroyers only ever trip torpedo ships like this one that are already crippled, really. That's unfair. We did get 1 or 2 hits on one of these battleships as their line was breaking up. So I am being too harsh on my destroyers there, but... geez, Essex, that bad? I mean, it's all structural damage. She's in no real danger, but it's not great. I mean, okay, despite my annoyance, we have sunk for sure at least a battleship, probably 2 to 3 heavy cruisers potentially, and honestly, more battleships than just that are in severe danger still, so... Although the damage we've just taken is annoying, we're pretty much in line for an absolutely crushing victory nonetheless. I wish I could find their damned carriers. Is this them? I don't know. Reports. I have reports that they're over there, and I have reports that they're down here. Could be a bit of both, of course. I've also still got destroyers in ridiculously close contact with my carriers, but I think they're all sinking, hopefully. Although, you know, that one... Oh, no, that one is, but it's still problematic. Well, let's see if we can get another strike ready. And we will sort of target it... Oh, that tells you how many aircraft you can... I see. Wow, I should have noticed that a long time ago. Alright, get the strike ready. This will be launched basically wherever I think that maybe we can find their carriers. Not enough torpedoes left, Langley. Well, you just said you had 27, and I told you to ready up 16. How is that troublesome for you? There you go. I don't know what her problem was. Anyway, we still have about 6 battleships in line, along with 1 battle cruiser. Wyoming is a little pretty badly hurt, but not dead. I mean, the United States is actually fine if she would fix her machinery. I think Wyoming is the only one. Well, Wyoming and Constitution are the ones to worry about. And I'm not too worried about them, just... Sure. It looks like at least a couple more hits and these 2 will be done. 3 heavy cruisers is pretty good too, but I would definitely like to finish off at least 1 more of these battleships, frankly, if not all of them. But we've got to be careful because they're just crawling with destroyer escorts still. That's why I'm kind of sailing this way towards Revenge, because she looks like she's only got 1 or 2 destroyer escorts. We are also starting to run a touch low on ammunition. Which could potentially be a problem. Sure. Carriers there, or maybe there. Don't know. Don't have any good recon on carriers. Could we, where's our, no, other way. No, distance, same. It's just our search patterns. I'd like to try to get another spotting report on the carriers before I launch any whole airstrike at them. Okay, I would say that the Battleship Revenge here is in a spot of trouble. Would not want to be in her shoes. Although currently we're all still focused on plastering this poor heavy cruiser, which is definitely dead. If a couple of you could switch your fire to the battleship, that'd be alright. We're starting to. Yeah. She's not going to survive this. Merchant? Who killed a merchant? I have very little idea of what's going on with the carriers over here, but none of them have sunk or been torpedoed or anything. They seem to have randomly killed some merchants and destroyers, and that's fine. I hate to just launch strikes randomly out into the wild blue yonder, as it were, and hope. Okay, we did lose Salt Lake City to a torpedo explosion, apparently. Usually you get a pop-up for things like that, but... Enemy aircraft. Do you have any idea what direction they're approaching from? No, they're just kind of here. They're right there already. Oh. Dang, they were bombing Constitution, actually, apparently. Oh, boy. Constitution's not in good shape. They might just be behind this whole mess of ships here. I mean, their carriers might just be back there, but it's very, very hard to be sure. Somebody gonna actually... Is one of these torpedoes is gonna actually hit Revenge? There we go. Okay. I'm fairly sure that Revenge is probably sinking. We're a touch low on ammo, and we have a lot of damage, but, I mean, it doesn't really... It's over 400 miles support, so whether we disengage or not kind of has no relevance to whether our ships survive at this point. So that being the case, I'm going to turn and pursue the British fleet. You shouldn't be at high speed. Where are you? To be fair, you're only doing 22 knots, but... I can't even take them off of AI control because they're too far away. The carriers are all kind of plastering themselves against the coastline, which is fine. Do we have any recent reports of anything? Not that are worth a damn, really. Is the carrier airstrike ready? Yeah, pretty much. Okay, I'm going to take a guess on the carriers being hopefully maybe down here. Which is really still awfully close to us, to be fair. And I'm going to launch with that group at least. And this group, I'm just going to send straight to this group of Brits. And the last group I'm going to keep in reserve for if we get an actual sighting of their carriers. Damn it, Nevada. From what, even? Revenge doesn't have torpedoes. Well, actually, she has submerged ones, but she still couldn't possibly have hit Nevada. From this destroyer all the way over here, do you think? That's just kind of ridiculous, honestly. Well. Oh well. I'm going to turn and pursue the British fleet anyway. Can you not do better than this, Essex? I guess not. She has a lot of structural damage. It's alright. There's still a Hannibal-class battleship and a Barfleur-class battleship down there that I know of, along with one heavy cruiser and a whole bunch of destroyers that I'm a little worried about, but this is their decent battleship. Barfleur is pretty much garbage, but still a battleship. We'd still benefit from sinking her. We've only got 5 capital ships left in company right now, though. Nothing is all is wrong with Illinois, I don't think. No, she just got kind of detached because of Ohio falling out of line. Ohio has significant damage from a torpedo, but she should still be alright to help chase the enemy. Sure. Great. Signals misunderstood. How many enemy aircraft is that? Literally 4 torpedo bombers, but we don't really have air cover, so... Some of the torpedoes we've taken could actually be from aerial attacks that we're not really noticing, because it's very inconsistent about when it actually bothers to tell you that enemy aircraft are approaching. Sometimes they're just there. That's just a destroyer. Some of our carriers have managed to make their way over here. Still no sign of any enemy carriers, but I know, well, other than the fact that they keep bombing us, which is sort of an obvious sign, as it were. So I know they're out there, but no idea of their whereabouts. Okay. That's a lie. That's a destroyer you just bombed 3 times, I'm fairly sure. But if you even actually did. Holy cow. Alright, somebody just torpedoed Revenge 5 times. I don't even know who it was. But I'm pretty sure she's got more than medium damage. Alright, guys. Is a ridiculous proportion of this air attack just going after this battleship? Because it is dead, guys. I feel like a lot of them are, yeah. Which is just completely unnecessary. Very wasteful. Yeah, alright, she's gone, so that'll stop the rest of them from wasting their torpedoes on her, at least. If that was their intention. Alright, the rest are going after these, at least. Seems like they've still got some speed to them, so anything they can do to slow them down. Alright, they keep claiming they're hitting... Like, that's not a carrier. I'm almost certain that's a destroyer still. But you know what? If it is a carrier, I mean, plaster it, but I'm fairly certain that's that Ardent-class destroyer. Illinois, where'd you go? Oh, she's over there. Annoying. I think... I don't even know if we've actually hit that destroyer, because it's not dead, but it's still moving. But if you believe the pilot's claims, they've hit it about 20 times already. Unless that's not really what they're claiming to bomb, but that's where the clicking on it takes me. Okay. There's a bunch of destroyers coming up here. For once, I do actually see the threat, and I'm going to turn and try to not get torpedoed and to keep chasing their capital ships. Which means we're going to do 1 turn, and then we're going to keep turning a little more, just in an effort to throw off any torpedo tracks. What are you shooting at there? Oh, 1 destroyer. Unfortunately, the remaining battleships down here are still making pretty good speed. If we're lucky, these bombers will actually get down there and target them instead of going after a destroyer. I don't know how fast they can be going. I'm pretty sure Barfleur does not make 24. No, and also where? I see, you've now wandered far enough that the destroyer is in the way of you somehow. Well, you'll figure it out. Okay, we're in gun range with one of these battleships. Ooh. Okay. That's Ohio already got hit by a torpedo. 3 is yeah, she's gonna sink. Oh, that's rough. Okay. Well, all right. She's already gonna sink. I mean, clearly. Yeah. That's a loss. But we've sunk at least 2 enemy battleships, so and I'm still going for 4, so it's acceptable. I really wish I had, the slightest idea of where their carriers actually were currently. Because clearly they have them, but I have only the most vague and scattered scouting reports of where. Hmm. Do we have any more recent reports? There's a bunch of destroyers up there. That's unhelpful in the extreme. No, we still don't have any reports of the carriers that aren't many hours old. How fast? I mean, this Hannibal does 24 knots. Barfleur, I don't think, does 24 knots. Even in the absolute best of times. Surely they have some significant damage by now. Basically, what I'm saying is I don't understand how they're staying ahead of us so well. But at least it's a bit of a calm patch. I don't know. It's just our aerial recon again. I mean, they don't launch as many recon aircraft when we're in combat, but still. North Dakota just got bombed by a bunch of fighters. Wasn't very effective, but that probably means they're running out of bombers. Sure. Where do we think their carriers could be? I'm going to launch randomly into the ocean out here and just hope we find something. Something that's actually a carrier. Because I'm pretty sure everything we've bombed that we said was a carrier before was like random destroyers and things. really don't know how we haven't slowed these guys down at all yet. Like, oh, great, United States is way behind. I mean, she's not in big trouble or anything, but she and Illinois are together somehow. Become absolutely miles apart. Okay, they're putting up a smoke screen. We are low on ammo, but we're not out of ammo. We just can't seem to land the hits that will actually slow down or disable these last couple of battleships. And that's what would take this, if we sank these two, that's what would finally take this from a minor victory to a crushing victory. Because at this point, we've lost one battleship. A couple more are a little bit touch and go. They've lost two, which were probably smaller. Well, one of them was quite large at least, but apparently we haven't found and hit their carriers pretty much at all. Okay, Essex is just kind of getting her ass kicked right now. Really? Do you guys, are you out of ammo? You're low on ammo, you're not out. The forward turrets are almost out, though, or one of them is even. So that's part of the issue. Does Essex... Ooh. Essex is incapable of firing back right now, even. Okay. Probably time to break off, then. Alright, the rest of the carriers, please just get together. I mean, pretty much everything you can manage. I don't know. Okay, well, take what you can. I don't know where the carriers are, but we're going to at least try. At least try one. Oh my god. For fuck's sake. Our screening is apparently so bad. Well, we have like all of 2 destroyers left with us or something. I don't know where the hell the rest of them have gone. We're going to make one last attempt to launch a decisive airstrike on these guys. If that doesn't slow them down or sink them, then we're just going to have to let them go. Because clearly our battleships fired off too much ammo from their forward guns to really keep the pursuit up any longer. Effectually. Especially if we continue to get torpedoed with precision accuracy every few seconds. Dang it, guys, why can't you hit anything? Is the airstrike ready? Yes, okay. I don't care if you land. I don't give a damn if you land at night at this point. Yeah. Ooh, it's gonna be night too soon. They're not gonna make it here. Damn. Whoops. I should probably just... There's not really any way to recall the strike, I don't think, at this point. I can tell them to stand down. Yeah, that's a little late. Alright, we're all going to turn away and head home. Yes, I know there's radar contacts. Calm down. They're the same ships that were there 10 seconds ago. Let me tell you. No, we're just going to lower speed. I bet you two care to stay with the squadron. Apparently not. Who the hell are you? Oh, battle cruisers. Yeah, well, they're way out here. They didn't find the carriers either, so... Are you the airstrike? Why are you going that way? They got real lost tonight. Okay, well, it should, unless we lose another capital ship to sinking or something, flooding over time, it should be a pretty good win. It's just frustrating to see those two escape, and equally frustrating that we couldn't find their carriers all day, even though they clearly had no trouble finding us. And everybody's dying while trying to land. That's acceptable. So now we pretty much wait for the timer to run out, because I don't anticipate finding anything. Radar contact by North Dakota. Really? What did you find? It's probably just a coastal patrol ship or something. It was very transient, whatever it was. Oh, it's coming towards us now, actually. It's probably a destroyer that's going to torpedo us like 10 times as soon as we're in actual range of it. It does look like one small ship. Let's have a bit of a turn so we don't get torpedoed, because I think it probably is a destroyer. What are you, sir? I don't know, you're dying is all you are. I don't know what you are. It's a solitary destroyer, but at least it didn't torpedo us yet. Let's try to stay away from that possibility. Solitary destroyer, you say? Well, let's head north, just on the off chance possibility that, yes, that's the destroyer. Leave it alone. Or literally run it over. Sure. Let's head north just on the off chance possibility that that destroyer was escorting something and got lost. We never did really make it to the target point. Oh, we've actually sunk 3 of their ships. I almost forgot about the battlecruiser we sunk right at the start. Okay, that makes it a little more decisive still. up here. Okay, well, we're reaching, like, right off their port. This is probably going to be a patrol ship or something if it's alone. Not that I'm above sinking it, but... Okay, now we've lost it anyway. Oh, there it is. Alright, well, whatever it is, go ahead and sink it. Sure, preemptively launch. I do not for a single second believe that that's a random lone aircraft carrier. Yeah, transport seems more like it. Okay, well, I think that's dealt with. Didn't really find anything up here. Another? Oh, there is another unknown contact. Could be a destroyer or something guarding the port. Probably couldn't hurt to go check it out. Lost it. Is that it? Yeah. Alright, keep him on radar, guys, because it's... You report it, but where is it? Oh, okay, it's right there. You're going to want to do an emergency turn, because I think that's a destroyer. Yep. Oh, boy. Oh, god damn it. I turned even. Well, she's still alright. Really? How did you even manage to hit Charlotte and not Nevada or New Mexico? Well, I think the destroyer's dead. Let's go south. Another one? Dead ahead. Single ship. Multiple ships, maybe. That's interesting. That's more interesting than the single contacts have been. What's down here? Yes. Because we need to chase whatever this is. There's a lot down there. It honestly could be their battleships returning or something weird. But there's a slight off chance also that it could be their carriers. It could also just be a gaggle of destroyers that got detached somehow. Because I'm only seeing 2 right now, but I swear I saw more than 2 before, so... Whatever it is heading the opposite way. They've probably seen us on their radar. But there certainly still is something down there. Alright, I'm beginning to think it's just 2 destroyers. I thought I saw a 3rd ship earlier. Well, see, now I feel like... Okay, there's like 4. Yeah, no. Unfortunately, whatever it is also seems to be too fast for us to catch. But I begin to think that it actually is their carriers. Maybe. Wait, daylight? Oh. That, Makes a difference. Even partial daylight. Hold on. Oh, great. Hold on. No, that might actually... Wait. Torpedo bombers coming from behind us? Oh, I don't know about that then. Hold on. Guys, get all of your bombers together. Particularly your dive bombers. I don't know what the range to here is. Not that bad. Yeah. I think we're pretty much out of torpedoes. I'm just going to have them get the dive bombers ready. And maybe some fighter escorts actually would be a good idea in that case. You got more capacity still? Yes. Okay. There's a possibility. I mean, we're way past the timer, but... It's certainly something right there. It might be their carriers. What do we reckon? No, that's laggardly. That might just be a destroyer. It is a carrier. Fantastic. If we could sink even one of these bastards. Okay, you're really not all ready. Well, I guess pilot dive bombers are ready. That's all that really matters. Target is there. Launch. Okay, you're not even close to ready. All right. We got to give him a little more time. Okay, I'll give you the cheaper dodging torpedoes, but Independence, how fast can you make? 26 knots. Not enough. We're going to lose them. Barely in contact as it is. How are we doing? Okay, you're ready. Launch. You are ready. Launch. I mean, it looks like it's probably 2 light carriers-ish. It could be up to 4. Yeah, great. They certainly have enough to attack us still. But any bomb hit we got that slowed them down would probably let us catch them and finish them off. I didn't see any sign of any... The hell is this? How lost are you guys? I said to come over here. Damn it. This is mostly fighters attacking us, which is not super effective, but I've totally lost sight of them. I need these aircraft to find them and bomb them, and if they don't pull that off, then we're not going to catch them. It seems like they're all floating around over here, which you would think they would have an idea of the rough bearing of the enemy, but it doesn't look like they're finding them. Which is, yeah, they're all just heading home. Damn. Well, we're probably just going to have to give this up then. It's a terrible shame. If all these ships were less damaged, we probably would have been able to catch them, but... As it stands, all we're doing is getting bombed while trying to chase them. Hi, Promain. What did you notice? Yeah, I've thought about that myself. I'm gonna have to do something about that. Yeah. For the record, for the people on YouTube, Promain in the chat is suggesting that I should read back the comments on Twitch, which makes sense, yeah. It's just, there we go. Well, it's a win. Oh, we sank 3 battleships. Okay. It really annoys me that we didn't get any of their carriers, but it's a clear win. We lose the heavy cruiser USS Salt Lake City, which took 1 torpedo from Goldfinch and exploded on the spot. And unfortunately, the battleship Ohio, which was hit by, I'm pretty sure it's mostly aerial torpedoes. Yeah. Aerial torpedoes, which managed to sink her. Or show the comments on screen. Yeah. I will probably have to look into how to do that. It's just that I don't typically, let's be honest, I don't get that many comments on Twitch most of the time, so hasn't been necessary in the past. Anyway, we sank 9 destroyers, which is a lot more than I realized, but they died pretty quietly, I guess. HMS Alarm, Fortune, Garland, Oak, Harpy, Teviot, X, Lydiard, and Archer. Plus the heavy cruisers Argonaut, Cumberland, and Berwick, which Niobe class, Bedford class, and Leviathan class, which are all pretty nice. Well, Cumberland's pretty standard, but these two are 10-inch gunned heavy cruisers, which is pretty good. And most importantly, we sank 4 capital ships for the one we lost, being the battlecruiser HMS Princess Royal of the Invincible class, absolutely plastered. The dreadnought HMS Hannibal, which only 14 heavy hits did her in the end. Oh, plus 2 bomb hits, but still. Yeah, it's just the fact that she's 20 years old, the leaking and such slowly sank her overnight. I definitely forgot that again, but it also doesn't matter. This is really all that my fleet is focusing on. Is invading Newfoundland. I mean, I don't have ships pretty much. No, that's not true. I have a. Do I have a formation in Southeast Asia? I've forgotten. Maybe I do. But I'm pretty well focusing on attacking Newfoundland. Revenge here, just. Yeah. One of those airstrikes went after her in a very uncalled for fashion after she was already crippled. And she took 12 torpedoes, which was not called for, but and HMS Repulse 3 torpedoes and 100 heavy gun hits. Now this was one of Britain's most modern battleships, so actually Revenge's also quite a nice battleship. And Hannibal's not bad either. So all 3 of the battleships Britain lost were from their relatively solid group of battleships. Princess Royal is not such a good battle cruiser, but they don't have that many of them either. Overall, despite all the damage we took from torpedoes, we only lost 1 ship. Well, 2, but It's a pretty crushing victory when you come right down to it. Although they call it marginal, but... Thanks for watching, sailors. I hope you enjoyed. New parts will be up every other day, or you can watch live on Twitch. If you did enjoy, consider leaving a like or subscribing. Have a nice day, sailors. This is Sea Lord Janda, signing off.